I think specifically in Germany, but maybe also in other countries, ownCloud would be a well-known name. It has a huge community, a lot of fans and technical groupies, I like to say sometimes. You'll find it in many sellers, but you'll also find it in many enterprises as a beautiful data storage solution. Now, today, Holger is Technical Managing Director, and he's going to talk about how we can use ownCloud to improve our data governance, to make sure that we have true control of the data that we produce, store, process, manage, and so on and so forth. The stage is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. Yeah, I like to talk with you about if you actually know who controls your data and how we think about your digital sovereignty and what we recommend for you to do with your data and how to keep your own digital sovereignty. My name is Holger Deiroff, Managing Director of ownCloud. We have an open source solution, as John was correctly saying. That means we have a lot of people who collaborate with us together on the software, who deliver input to the software, and who really work with us on the software to create the software, and we together create your digital independence. So a couple of figures about ownCloud. ownCloud was founded as an open source project back in 2010. The company, which caters towards enterprises, governments, and organizations worldwide, was founded in 2012, actually here in Nuremberg, so it's kind of a home play game for us. And of course, whatever we offer in regards of our hosted solutions, our managed solutions, or if you run it on your own premises, is under European Union regulations and covered by laws like the GDPR. It's the largest open source project for collaboration, and collaboration means that we work together on files, that we work together on data, that we exchange data with each other, but of course also protect the data. With really large customers around the globe, from corporate areas, from science, from education, from the industry, and also from public services. Important for us, everything in ownCloud is API driven. That means you can do your own front end, you have open APIs, you can integrate ownCloud into your own applications, you can use ownCloud as a data management platform, as a data store. So those type of things are very easy to do because you have very nice APIs which you can use. And those APIs also allow us to do integrations for you, like for different office suites, for different identity management solutions, and also for Active Directory and other things where your users are typically located. So where is digital sovereignty, which I want to talk with you about today, coming from? And don't wonder, this is a German slide, because interestingly, the term digital sovereignty was invented in Germany. 2019, at kind of the digital experience of the German government, the term was created. But later on, it was also involved. And in the meantime, the term digital sovereignty has also arrived at Gartner. Gartner is defining it as being about three things. It's important to have data sovereignty, which means the legislative framework and governance, which really is about data regulation. So as an example, some of our customers in Saudi Arabia, they have clear regulations, data must stay inside Saudi Arabia. In the health industry, you often have regulation that data can't leave on the premises of the data center of the hospital you're actually in without a user agreeing to that. So lots of regulations in that regards. In the military, you also have those type of regulations which clearly say that there is governance around it. Then you have the operational sovereignty. The operational sovereignty is about data residency. So where is the data really located? How is it controlled? Who has access to the data. That's things you have to do in audits and all type of things. And then last, but also very, very important for us, is the technological sovereignty. And that's why we have an open source solution. That's why we are about transparency. So it can be used by somebody else. You can move with your data from one hoster of ownCloud to another hoster of ownCloud. You can manipulate the source code by yourself. You can do extensions. And that's technical sovereignty, which you have available, not necessarily to you if you can't do programming, but you can hire a third party. You can hire somebody who does security fixes in the future for you. Of course, you can get a subscription from us, which might be way cheaper that way. You can hire somebody to do extensions and all those type of things. And those three things combined deliver technical sovereignty to you as users of content collaboration. Another idea came up, okay, how can we measure digital sovereignty? So we looked at a couple of criteria till now. So is there a way to measure it? Can we classify digital sovereignty? And the things to be used there is the independence of usage, the independence in administration. So is somebody else administering it for me? Which regulation is he under? The usage of open standards, the usage of open source and availability of source code and that type of transparency. And when I talk with a lot of the exhibitors here and ask them, okay, do you give the source code to your customers so the customers can check independently for backdoors and programming style and errors and all those type of things? They always look at me still with a strange face and say, no, that's not possible. So at us, that's possible. And that's a big difference really in transparency. And with that, you have full control of all the different components. You can have your own integrations. The users have full control of their data. Typically, if you have a home directory today, then that marketing folder, you as a user can't control. It's the administrator who controls it. You have to ring up the administrator and say, oh, this other guy in the sales department also needs to have access to this folder. Can you take care of that? That is typically not something you can do in a self-service. At ownCloud, we're user-centric, so you can do all of those things in a self-service way. We already talked about full transparency and, of course, compliant usage of all the components under existing European Union regulations, current and future regulations. As you know, a couple of regulations are still in the pipeline there. So with this type of measurements in mind, let's look at the different type of cloud providers out there, and let's start with the one who are not digital sovereign at all. That's particularly the United States-based cloud providers like a Microsoft Office 365, like an Amazon, like a Google Workplace, those type of solutions. They are not digital sovereign. They can't offer you any of this. There is some medium-level digital sovereignty available out there. A couple of years ago, Microsoft had Microsoft Germany, operated by Telecom. That service was ceased afterwards, but currently is in the process of being rebuilt from a company called Delos, which is a subsidiary of SAP in particular. And they offer medium digital sovereignty because they're not going to give you the source code. They're not going to give you the option to move all your data somewhere else. They run it finally in a regulative fine way. They adhere to GDPR and all of those things. Same offering will soon be available from Oracle with German companies. It is available from Telecom together with Google. And that's what I call medium digital sovereignty. And then, of course, you have the highest level of digital sovereignty. That's your self-hosted solution on premises. That's a solution hosted by us with certified German or European hosters like plusCloud, as an example, who have those type of certifications. Or that's hosted by Telecom in their open Telecom cloud, which happens to be completely available to you, and the stack is very well defined. So that's highest level of digital sovereignty available to you. We talked already quite a bit about GDPR. One additional comment, just recently, I think in March 2023, a German working group of the German data protection officers has said that generally the Microsoft Cloud is something which is not compatible with GDPR law, and they have decided and designed what is actually possible. And they say that you must have ownership and control over data, that GDPR, of course, must be adhered to. And they have done definitions for must criteria and for shall criteria, where they basically say, if you deliver the right GDPR, it's all good, but if you want to offer real digital sovereignty, you also need to have transparency, reproducibility, ownership and control, the openness I talked about with you a lot already, predictability, resilience, and recurring tests of all that criteria to always say, yes, I'm available, I am for you, I deliver digital sovereignty for you, and you can control the data in the way you want. So with that, a couple of sentences about ownCloud and what you can experience at ownCloud as a user. It is a solution which delivers, of course, digital sovereignty. That's in our heart, that's in our DNA. However, our solution is also scalable, it's very flexible, it's sustainable. With ownCloud Infinite Scale, we have a new product generation which was co-developed with CERN. CERN, one of the largest research organizations on the planet. They actually reached 2 exabytes of data by now, and 80% of the data is available for worldwide researchers through ownCloud clients. Of course, there are also schools, administrations in different countries where ownCloud is used. In the health industry, it's very well used. Also, public services, corporate services. In the military, to protect military data, this is where ownCloud is used a lot. And in our newest product generation, we also have a people-independent data room. We call that Spaces. We said before, it's a lot about self-control. You as a user want to be in control of your things. And with Spaces, we have the ability that you have different space owners, different space managers, and you can have multiple for them, and they all can control this room. And those spaces can have nice pictures, they can have nice descriptions, and of course you can have a web office to collaborate inside files, to do things together. We have 3 different web offices available for you, including Office 365, but then your data actually stays in your own data center. Yeah? It is not saved at Microsoft, and that's a big difference. And yeah, ownCloud is really about that, creating that digital independence. I hope you come visit us in Hall 7A 302. We also have popcorn in addition to the gummy bears you hopefully got from colleagues in your hands. And with that, thank you so much.